睇你脾氣都幾惡嘅，你知唔知本道公府同你點比啊？你知本道會殺人啊？咁你又想死？傻瓜，真係傻瓜！本道好想睇你點傻法。其實睇你氣頭氣喘，頭先一行咗100級就急，覺得攰嘅。我覺得你唔單止傻，仲身體好虛弱添。係，你識日本話？我最識日本人。佢俾你搞到。攞把劍。我要睇下你武功有幾深。出招！如果我輸俾你嘅話，我今季有8日先。你睇到我功夫啦，施我腳法啦！你嘅劍術只係屬一般業餘嘅水平。殘廢比你強，再嚟廢物！我已經俾機會你睇下識咩武功，我睇到啦。你一啲都唔會，而家我要你用科學拳同我鷹爪拳比試啊！你同其他美國女人一樣，只識喺餐館點菜同埋使人名錢。好嘅，我問你，你相唔相信我？隨時將手斬落嚟。你手唔屬於我嘅，我中意點就點。如果你唔想我斬嘅，喐手。我嘅。喐唔到嘅。係。以前試過啲咁嘅滋味，你功夫同我比，簡直馬英捉雞仔。係。而家先。你想唔想學我頭先同佢打嗰條拳
？Shalom, Makiam. First of all praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Wakar Kodash. Double honors to the elders that rule well. Peace and blessings to you brothers out there preaching His word in sincerity and truth. This is Sound Nala coming back with another lesson, man. As you can see, that clip was from Kill Bill Volume 2. When Beatrice met Pai Mei. And the reason why I played that clip as you know, talking with the brothers, we were kind of just meditating on experience and you know, versus being a novice, and that's what you're seeing, the difference in that spirit and how these novices out here who claim to be experienced, who think they're on the level, are getting crushed in the spirit by those men that are following in the steed of the Yahweh Shem Yahushua through the spirit and empower the elders on down, man. You know, the experience that you gain from over time and toiling in not only in these scriptures but out in your daily life and practicing this word and sincerity and truth in your day-to-day life, you gain a masterful approach in dealing with people day to day. I said, just as, you know, even though Beatrice, the Uma Thurman played the character Beatrice, even though she was already a master assassin and well-known assassin at that time, and she, you know, she claimed to be proficient at, you know, Tiger's Claw, and she claimed to be proficient at the exquisite art of the samurai sword. When it came to her dueling with the Pai Mei, who was a supreme martial artist and master, she was made to look like a fool. And that's how these guys, like guys like Nazariah and all these other clowns, they've broken off and branched off. That's how they're looking, and they pale in comparison to the wisdom and experience of the elders of New York, man, and to a lot of the elders in these other camps who have humbled themselves to the will of the Most High. And so I just got a couple of scriptures on experience, and I just want to read them off to you, man. And I have another clip. I might play it. You know, if the spirit allows and wills, I'll play that clip because we don't want to get caught out there, man. And as a matter of fact, I play that clip right now. You don't want to be caught out being a novice. Now, in this next scene that I have pulled up is a scene in Kill Bill where, again, Uma Thurman, who plays Beatrice Kiddo, is facing off against another assassin who did not complete her training. She actually poisoned Pai Mei and killed Pai Mei on some deceitful bullshit. And just like these niggas out in the world want to do, they want to try to go another route to get the prophets out of the way because they can't deal with the scriptures. So they want to be deceitful and wicked. Just like this character was. I forget the character's name, so forgive me. But she didn't complete her training because she was too prideful and thought she was on the level. Ellie. I believe her name is Ellie. She didn't complete her training. Ellie didn't complete her training that Beatrice completed. Now, Beatrice, because she humbled herself like she did in that last scene, and she's like, I'm helpless to you. I can't, you know. Basically, we want to be helpless to this truth and completely give ourselves over to its will and its might. You know, Ellie did not do that. She bucked up against the teachings of Pai Mei, and she didn't complete the training. So she wasn't able to learn the secrets and the mysteries of his training like Beatrice was. Now, if you brothers haven't seen Kill Bill 2, man, or Kill Bill series, it's a very, very good Quentin Tarantino film. Arguably his best film to date. In my opinion, of course, you have your Pulp Fictions, and you have your Reservoir Dogs, and you have your Django's. But me, being a nerdy guy that I am, loving martial arts, I clung to this movie a lot. It had a lot of subtle underlying messages and themes in it that I really enjoyed. So this is the scene where they're fighting in the trailer. Look at her, she's real proud, you know. Gotcha, bitch. by her pride, man. Blinded by her pride. And believed that she was on a level when she wasn't. That's a lesson, and that's a lot of these guys that fell out. They're blinded by that pride, and that pride is going to lead to their destruction, man. You know? But, you know, I'm going to start off with the scripture that I really love. It's one of my favorite chapters in the Bible, Titus chapter 2. I'll start at verse... I'll start at verse 6. It says, Titus chapter 2, verse 6. Young men, likewise exhort to be sober-minded, in all things showing thyself a pattern of good works. And that's why, we were told to do these lessons and go to camp, because you're showing yourself a pattern of good works. You know, even in dealing with charity and fellowship, you want to make sure that you're coming around and show that pattern of love, you know. In doctrine, showing uncorruptness, gravity, and sincerity. Okay? Sound speech that cannot be condemned. And that's what we're seeing with a lot of these guys that fall out. They don't have sound speech. That's why it's constantly being condemned. They're constantly being cut down because they're going against what the scriptures are saying. Now Babylon ain't America. Now, you know, the other tribes don't really exist. They don't know who they are anymore. The 12 tribe sign is obsolete. All these different things, and they're waxing worse and worse. Sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say unto you. Now, you know, that's why they can't go script for script anymore, man. They don't have anything to say. That's why you're seeing these guys like Vocab Malone and all these Jesus the Word that fall into the wayside, because the truth of these scriptures is standing, breaking down all types of strongholds. Verse 9, exhort servants to be obedient unto their own masters, and to please them well in all things, not answering again, not periling, but showing all good fidelity, that they may adorn the doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahushai in all things. For the grace of God, for the grace of Yahweh that brings salvation hath appeared to all men. And of course, those men is talking about the Israelites. But if you look up that word periling there, let's look it up in the Greek. Okay.
Strong's G 3557. Nosfidzo.
It says to set apart, separate, divide, to set apart, separate oneself, to peril, embezzle, withdraw covertly, and appropriate to one's own use. And so we are commissioned not to peril, not periling, but showing all good fidelity, man. All good fidelity. So we want to make sure that we're not trying to divide ourselves from this truth and ourselves from the leadership that got us here. You know, we need to be sitting at the table of the wise men and of great men, you know, and learning. Okay. Now this is 1 Timothy 3, and I start at verse 5. 1 Timothy 3 and 5. I started before. One that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of Yahweh? And, you know, we are the house of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know. And so we're building the house of David, you know. And so we have to care for that house, you know. Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil. And just like that scene we saw with Beatrice versus Ellie, she was lifted up with pride. Being a novice, man, because she didn't complete her training. Okay? So when you look up that word novice there in the Greek, it's neophytos. Neophytos. It says newly planted, a new convert, a neophyte. And so there's nothing wrong with being newly planted, a new convert, but every brother has his role in this thing. And those brothers that are just coming in, whether you're in for 3 months, a year, 2, 3 years, you need to be learning and listening, man. And following it in the spirit, Okay, brothers that's been here 4, 5, 6, 7 years, you shouldn't be on the level of a neophyte or a novice. You've learned things in this thing to be able to make wise decisions, whether it's concerning the camp, offices, lessons, breakdowns, day to day. Because sometimes brothers need wholesome advice, man, on how to deal with situations with their family or their children or at work. And brothers are going to look to you for that. Those brothers should be able to go to more experienced men and get sound advice, man. That's why we are a body. That's why we are connected like that, so we can communicate. And the mistakes that we've made through our experiences, we're able to teach brothers how to avoid those mistakes and to be more refined as they take this walk in this truth, man. Because the closer we get to the end, the more perfect we need to be striving to be, through this power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Because even Yahushua said, "Be ye perfect as I am." So we have to strive for those masteries, Romans 5 is one of the classic scriptures that I like to read, but I really love this script. This is Romans 5 and 1. It says, "Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with Yahweh through our Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, by whom also we have access by faith unto this grace, wherein we stand and rejoice in hope of the glory of Yahweh. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also." So we know we're promised those tribulations. So their hard times are going to come, just like the Lord told the disciples. As they persecute me, they're going to persecute you. And we see that. We know that we're under these curses. So, hey, you're going to have tribulations. Money woes, women woes, all types of woes. Knowing that tribulation worketh patience. So, and now those times of tribulation, you have to trust and know that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to take care of the situation the way it needs to be taken care of. There might be things that are happening that you might not see right at that moment. But if you're patient, it'll all come to fruition. And patience, experience, okay? And experience hope, okay? And so that those trials and those tribulations, over time, you build up experience. You learn, okay? Experience, that word experience in the Greek.
Strong's G 1382, Dakime.
Okay? It's a proving, a trial. Approved, a tried character, a proof, a specimen of tried worth. Okay, and that's what we're trying to become. Okay, we're trying to prove ourselves to the Most High. Okay, and so you only learn that over a dispensation of time, man. And that's why it talks about that dispensation of time of the chosen elect in Ephesians, the 1st chapter, man. Because things all have to come to fruition over time. But if you're just being a nigga, you're going to go through things and you're not going to regard the spiritual side of things and learn from them. You're just going to keep making the same mistakes, man. Like I have family members, they'll get cheated on by a girl and keep going back to the bitch as if she's just going to become a different bitch. Or they hang out with certain people, those people fuck them over, and they still trying to gain those people's graces, man. When those people have proven that they're pieces of shit. Or you might have a problem being rash. And every time you become rash, you get put in situations where you'll get into a fight or get thrown in jail or get fired. So it might be prudent of you to look at yourself and say, man, maybe I should not be rash. Or maybe when times where I get this angry, instead of talking, maybe I should just be quiet. You learn those different things over time, and a good person or a righteous person, someone who's trying to seek to please the Most High, will learn and build off their character flaws and refine themselves. Okay, and over time, I'm gonna go to the Apocrypha. This is hold on, I want Sirach. This is Sirach, the 34th chapter, and I'm gonna start at the. I'll start verse 8. It says, Sirach 34, verse 8. The law shall be found perfect without lies, and wisdom is perfection into a faithful mouth. A man that hath traveled knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom. He that hath no experience knoweth little, but he that hath traveled is full of prudence. When I traveled, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. I was oftentimes in danger of death, yet I was delivered because of these things. The spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live, for the hope is in him that saveth him. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you got to travel all around the world. It means you've just been on the planet over a period of time to where you've gone through things. You met different people. You have different experiences with different things. And so you understand more. So you're able to speak these things to those who are maybe younger than you. They might not be younger than you, but you have more experience. Like I've traveled all around the place, so I have different experiences that brothers can't really may not have know about. As far as with land and different foods and different cultures. And so those different things, I'm able to display those things and highlight those things. So if you ever come across it, you know about it. And that's a beautiful thing. Just like the elders, we sit and talk with them. They're able to impart things that I have never gone through, and and it helps me when I'm going through things. This is Sirach chapter 25, verse 3. It says, "If thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth, how can thou find anything in thine age? How comely is a thing." Comely, I think, is judgment for gray hairs, and for ancient men to know counsel. Or how comely is the wisdom of old men, and understanding and counsel to men of honor. Much experience is the crown of old men, and the fear of Yahweh is their glory. And that's why, we follow the elders up in New York, because we know that they fear Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. They've been fighting for as long as I've been alive, And they've learned many things in this truth that now, us 10, 11 years in this, now we're starting to go through those things that they talk about, They've been there, done that. So when we talk to them, they're like, yep, yeah, they happened here. Yep, that guy did this, same as that. This is what you should do, And then we're able to build off of those things and learn off of those things. So you want to make sure that you're constantly trying to gain experience and knowledge in this truth, because without that, you could be put out there and be looked as being a fool. You get caught in your own folly. Sirach 6:18. That's a common scripture that we always read. It says, "My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom in thine old age." And we want to make sure that we're doing what we can to survive the turmoil that's going to come to this planet, man. And the only way we're going to do that is if we're learning day to day and toiling in these scriptures, man. Let me grab one more script. Let's see if I can find it. Won't let me look it up like that. Okay, let me grab it out of the Bible. Let me grab it out of the scriptures, man. This is Wisdom of Solomon. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Chapter 8, verse I'll start at verse 6. And if prudence, I started 7. And if a man love righteousness, her labors are virtues. For she teaches temperance. Now that she is talking about wisdom. For she teaches temperance and prudence, justice and fortitude, which are such things as men can have nothing more profitable in their life. If a man desires much experience, she knoweth things of old and conjectureth aright what is to come. She knoweth the subtleties of speeches and can expound dark sentences. So, if you desire that experience, that the wisdom of gaining all of those different experiences, it can make it to where you can tell what people are trying to say without them saying it. You can expound on things that may not, a young person may not understand what is being said, but through your experiences, you're able to break it down. Okay, and then you're able to tell what's about to happen. There might be a situation where you're like, man, we need to get out of here. Because through experience, you just see how people are acting. Like, man, a fight's finna break out, something's finna go down. And through your experience, you're like, man, we need to roll out. So you're able to, it says conjecture the right, what is to come. You're able to see if something bad finna happen, some fortune's finna happen. You're able to see different things like that through the spirit. She said she foreseeth signs and wonders and the events of seasons and times. Therefore, I purpose to take her to me to live with me, knowing that she would be a counselor of good things and a comfort of cares and grief. For her sake I shall have estimation among the multitude and honor with elders, though I be young. And so we want to make sure that we are constantly meditating on the beauty of this word, man, and trying to live it out day to day. We're at a time now where it's not prudent to stay at one level. You need to be leveling up on this thing at a high rate, man. Listening to the men that are over you, gaining experience, gaining knowledge. So when that time comes to where you have to take action, without having someone else to guide you, you know what to do. Okay. That's all I have on that, man. With all that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, double honors to the elders who do well. Peace and blessings to you brothers out there kicking this word in sincerity and truth. Shalom.